Hello, and today I'll introduce you the movie The Mummy 1999. I will tell you about the original names and ages of the actors and how they changed in 2022. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to support us. Alright, let's get started. Benny Garber is played by Kevin J. O'Connor. He's a Hungarian thief who joined the French Foreign Legion and belongs to the same unit as Rick O'Connell. During an overwhelming attack by an army of Tuareg nomads, he fled into the city and closed the door, making him the only person besides Rick to survive the attack. In 1999, he was 36 years old and now he's 59 years old.
That's probably not the best way to go about it, but then I learned to really love the book, and it stayed with me for a long time, this book.
Evelyn Carnahan is played by Rachel Weisz. She's an intelligent but clumsy Egyptologist at the Cairo Museum of Antiquities. She, along with Rick and brother Jonathan, travel to the lost city of Hamunaptra, where she hopes to find the Book of Amun-Ra. In 1999, she was 29 years old, and now she's 52 years old.
Summit meeting with Scarlett and Florence and David and Kate, the director, and myself and the incredible Kevin Feige. What a great man who led the meeting.
Imhotep is played by Arnold Vosloo. He is the protagonist and antagonist of The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. In 1290 BC, he was the high priest of Osiris under the rule of Pharaoh Seti I. He began an affair with Pharaoh Seti's mistress, Ankh-Sunamun, and he murdered Pharaoh when he discovered that. In 1999, he was 37 years old and now he's 60 years old.
The Me Too movement and the Harvey Weinstein, where people reportedly knew that he was not a good guy and taking advantage of all these women.
Dr. Terence Bay is played by Eric Avery. He's an Egyptologist, curator of the Cairo Museum of Antiquities, and a member of Magi. He was first seen as some sort of supervisor to Evelyn during her days as a librarian. He was the beneficiary of Evelyn's parents' contribution to the library he was looking after. In 1999, he was 47 years old and now he's 70 years old.
And it was stuck in, they were originally from ancient Egypt and transported up to this unknown planet.
Dr. Alan Chamberlain is played by Jonathan Hyde. He's an Australian-British Egyptologist who traveled with a trio of Americans, their guide Benny and some native diggers of Hamunaptra. Dr. Chamberlain was the most cautious of his group, searching the city's ruins for artifacts. The three Americans were only interested in obtaining gold and jewels. In 1999, he was 51 years old and now he's 74 years old.
So far, very nice. Very quick.
Is it your first time?
No, I was here last year for the pre-first season of The Strain, so now...
Rick O'Connell is played by Brendan Fraser. He's the main character in the movie. He's an American explorer, honor veteran of World War I, Knight of the Legion of Honor, and former captain of the French Foreign Legion. In 1999, he was 31 years old and now he's 54 years old.
I made because if I raised my arm higher than one picture plane and crossed, for instance, the eyes of the elephant, across his eyes, they couldn't animate those in the way that...
Ardith Bay is played by Oded Fur. He is the leader of the Magi, the Muslim descendant of the royal bodyguards. The Magi are the sacred bodyguards of the pharaoh, a group that has watched and protected Hamunaptra for centuries. They vow to do all in their power to prevent Imhotep's resurrection. In 1999, he was 29 years old and now he's 52 years old.
Basically my first job. I started off doing The Mummy and thinking to myself, so this is my life.
Jonathan Carnahan is played by John Hannah. He's Evelyn's brother. He was a skilled thief with some knowledge of reading Egyptian but not very good at sports. He's the source of comic relief in the film. He is less good at fighting, navigating, and negotiating than Rick, so he's often left behind. In 1999, he was 37 years old and now he's 60 years old.
We do with those second chances and how we learn from our mistakes the first time around. That was kind of my ballpark area, which...
Gad Hassan is played by Omid Dalili. He is the warden of the Cairo prison, where Rick will be hanged. He He was bribed by Evie and Jonathan to free O'Connell, with 25% of the profits from the Hamunaptra expedition. He joined the expedition with the aim of protecting his investment. As soon as the expedition reaches the City of the Dead, Hassan's greed takes over and he wanders alone in search of valuables to retrieve. In 1999, he was 34 years old and now he's 57 years old.
On about being an Iranian again, and it's not banging on about it. I'm reminded of it every day. I mean, literally just yesterday, I went into a New York diner because I was attracted by the sign on the door that
Mr. Burns is played by Tuck Watkins. He's one of the treasure hunters. Despite his nerdy appearance, Burns is a skilled shooter with an M1911 pistol. He's present when the chest containing the Book of the Dead is opened, and because of this, he is the victim of the curse that sealed it. In 1999, he was 33 years old, and now he's 56 years old.
Wanting to be on the inner circle, and I was always kind of on the periphery. And so it wasn't so much that I wanted to be an actor, I just wanted to be popular. I just wanted to be liked.
Mr. Daniels is played by Corey Johnson. He's an American cowboy, though less public than Henderson. He's one of the treasure hunters. He wields two Akimbo-style M1917 revolvers and has a habit of only wearing his jacket halfway. Daniels was present when the chest containing the Book of the Dead was opened. In 1999, he was 38 years old and now he's 61 years old.
Film, I always go, well, look, it's a vanity project. It's somebody who fancies himself a writer or a director or both, or he's written something he's going to act in and I'm going to...
Mr. Henderson is played by Stephen Dunham. He's the one of the treasure hunters who make their way to the City of the Dead in search of the treasure. His looks are further accentuated by his use of a Colt single-action army revolver and his habit of rapidly drawing weapons. He was one of those present when the chest containing the Book of the Dead was opened. In 1999, he was 35 years old, and sadly, he passed away on September 14, 2012 at the age of 48. Captain Winston Havelock is played by Bernard Fox. He's an old and nostalgic British fighter pilot who fought in World War I and stayed in peacetime with the Royal Air Force. He was the sole British pilot of the 9th Auxiliary Squadron at his isolated RAF terminal in Giza. In 1999, he was 72 years old, and sadly, he passed away on December 14, 2016 at the age of 89. Thank you for watching the whole video. If you like this video, please share it, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us in producing